Hi, welcome back. We are back with Weingreen, a practical grammar for classical Hebrew. Going to be working through exercise 3 today, Hebrew to English, and afterwards English to Hebrew, which we haven't had any viewers for yet. I see we have one viewer right now, so welcome, whoever's here, and hope that we can entertain you for a little while with the
I
Hebrew language.
figure I figure all of our fans that come here every week must be colossal Hebrew nerds in order to do this.
Yeah, they
I
must,
mean,
right?
yes, indeed. Oh, this is going to be
Uh,
interesting.
Colton's got a couple of questions here. Number one, does modern Hebrew use tense instead of aspect?
Good question.
I don't like the idea that people argue that Hebrew uses aspect, even in biblical Hebrew. I know that's unpopular, but I think that biblical Hebrew does code for tense.
I should
The
send you
problem,
an article by Cook that argues that it does,
yeah, I think it does.
but also
The
tense.
problem is the problem is that we think of tense in the wrong way when it comes to Hebrew. That is, for example, yiktol doesn't necessarily mean the future from right now. It's the future from any time. So it's the future from now, which is will, I will do this. And it's the future from the past. So in the past, I say she went to the store and she found her friend and told him that she would come to his house in the afternoon. She told him in the past, and she would come in the future of the past. In English, we have the future of the past, we have the past of the future, we have all these funky things. So in the past of the future would be like, I will have eaten. It's future perfect. I will have eaten by the time you come to my house. By the time you arrive, I will have finished my meal. So we have all these complex tenses in English, and Hebrew just has the three. And so it's relative to the point in time that's being used. The problem is that Hebrew has also got some convergence of uses. So you've got the yaktal and the yaktala. You know, you've got the two different forms that converged into one. So you have both like a modal sense that's used in Yuktol and the actual future tense that's used in Yuktol. And so they've merged into one form, and so you need to be able to tell which one is modal, which one is used for like subjunctive or jussive or whatever, and what's used for the actual future. We could talk about this for a long, long time because it's argued
Yes. Yaktul and
among Hebrew
Yaktulu,
scholars.
actually. Yaktul
Ah,
and
yes,
Yaktulu.
I was thinking
Yeah.
Katal and Katala or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Yaktul and Yaktulu, yeah, that were merged into the same form, Yaktul and Hebrew. So
Oh, oh.
I
Yeah.
think that the tense is coded in Hebrew, in modern Hebrew and in biblical Hebrew. So how many viewing hours do we lack? We lack about 2,000. The last check.
we'll we'll
We
get
need.
there eventually. I'm trying to get Jason to slow down. He's so eager.
Let's see how
Ja-
many we have as of today. It was 950, I think. It's 980, so we've gone up by 30 viewing
That's
hours.
really good for a day. That's really good.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm
So
more
you notice I was
optimistic.
using the word future because future and yiktol to me is they're interchangeable. Yiktol is based on the form, and future is based on just an easy way to refer to it. Because in Hebrew, we call the yiktol we call it zman atid. Atid is future, and the katal or kal katal we say zman avar, the past tense. And now the participle in Hebrew is called zman benoni. It's like the in between time, but it's not really a present tense. We use it as a present tense. Also in the Bible, it's often used that way, but it's tense independent participles.
All right.
Think of it
again?
like an adjective that's been being used in a predicate form, basically.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm stepping all over you, Jason. I'm sorry. Don't mean to.
Gandalf, we really appreciate that. Get people to watch, get people to view.
Yeah.
We need right now 2,020 hours.
And Jason doesn't
All
mind
right.
taking the easy way out for that to get the numbers, as everybody doesn't, I think. But
So we are looking at
start.
Weingreen exercise 3. This
may
obviously
I
the
start this
subject
first one?
the subject matter here is about the predicate position of adjectives. It doesn't call it that way in Weingreen, but in Greek study that's what it's called. Adjectives can be used for predicate or for attributive position. So if you say the good king, I'm not going to say the king because that's what's written. Let's say the delicious wine. Delicious wine. Hayain hataim. Hayain hataim. Taim, delicious. Ha-yain ha-ta'im. But if you say ta'im hayain, it means the wine is delicious. That's predicate position. Predicate makes a sentence. Attributive makes a noun phrase. So, Jonathan, go ahead.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this because our favorite two Hebrew scholars, up and comers, or I don't know if they're up and comers, they may be very well established by now, but they have a different way of looking at the adjective construction. So I'll explain that as we go. The first one we have Hamelech Tov. So Hamelech, all obviously, is the king, and then Tov, you have to supply the verb. The verb is good, right? Simple. Now, oh, and this is where I wanted to talk about this. Traditionally, it's viewed as the king. Well, nope. I'm sorry. We'll do that next. Hamelech Hatov. Traditionally, this next one is viewed as, if you translate it, the king, the good, equals the good king. However, our favorite two Hebrew scholars look, and I'm not sure if Jason agrees with this or not, but they look at the hey on the front of Tov as a relative. So it shouldn't be seen as the king, the good, but the king which or who is good. Either way you do, you come up with the same result, the good king, right? But
Well,
Hamelech,
I'll tell you that in ancient Greek, the article started as a relative pronoun. Like the
yeah,
article, the word "the" in Homeric Greek was still used as a relative pronoun. So it would make sense that the king who was good became the king the good, but I don't think that we should say that during the time of biblical Hebrew it still maintained that meaning.
yeah. So we'll see. Well, it just depends on how you look at it. And when we talk about what traditional grammars call emphasis, our two favorites call focus. And so if ordinary Hebrew word order is verb, subject, object. Oh, okay. So you don't want me to use slashes?
Well, maintain what's on the Hebrew side with the English side. It's on the left with a comma,
Oh,
so
yeah,
next to
yeah,
the
yeah.
comma.
Jason's a stickler for those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So the third one, Tov HaMelech, you have, and I'll do this with Hebrew word order straight up because it basically means the same as the last one. Good is the king. And maybe I should leave it at that. Maybe I shouldn't go into detail. We'll do that
Yeah,
some other.
we would say that this is standard word order for nominal clauses.
Homestead would not say that. Which is why I wasn't going to go into it.
Yeah.
Because I swapped emails back and forth and clarified what he thought on that issue. But
To me,
we'll just keep going.
an adjective that's paired with a noun and the noun is the subject, the adjective naturally comes first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To him, it does not. To him, Tov HaMelech is marked. It's emphasizing the goodness. which if you supply the verb, you have adjective, verb, subject, right? So you supply the verb. Anyway, next, let's just go through these. We don't need to get too technical. There's no reason to do that for these.
Anyway, so the next one, Isha Tova, both of these are indefinite, so it's a good woman. We want to get rid of that big A. A good woman, it's indefinite. Ha-isha hatova, the good woman, it's the woman, the good one. And then tova ha-isha, this is actually a sentence, and it says the woman is good. The word is provided because it's a sentence. There's a lack of agreement between definite and indefinite. So the adjective is a predicate of its own. Good, the woman, means the woman is good.
Yes. So the third one, devara, a word or thing or matter or whatever, however you want to translate that, is bad, right? Bad is, or the word is bad.
Well, the first one is it's indefinite, indefinite. It's just a bad word.
Yep. I wrote it right and said it wrong. Hadavar hara, the word, the bad word, or the word which is bad. And notice we have the compensatory lengthening of the hay on hara because resh is the pseudoguttural, right? Can take a shava, can't take a dagish. I like pseudoguttural. I heard that once and I was like, oh, that's a good way to describe it. And then bad is the word, or the word is bad. Or also it could mean evil, right?
I just checked the book and I typed the first one wrong. It's not Hamelech Tov, it's
Melech
a
Tov.
good king. Sorry, it's my mistake.
Oh, no worries, Jason.
A good king. All right. Eretz Ra'a. Eretz is feminine. It means land, right? Or maybe earth in a way. Kedur Haaretz. Eretz Ra'a, an evil land or a bad land. That sounds like a movie. Badlands. So a bad land. Eretz Ra'a. Haaretz Hara'a. It's the land, the bad one, the bad land. And then finally, Ra'a haaretz. Ra'a haaretz. The land is bad.
Mm-hmm. Ish chakam, a wise, man, right? A man is a man, a wise. A man is wise. Well, it could be a man is wise, right? Couldn't it?
It could, but it's not common to have an indefinite subject of a sentence.
Right. And then ha'ish hechacham, the man, the wise, or the man who is wise, the wise man. And notice you've got this weird thing when you have an article before a guttural.
With kamatz.
Yeah, with kamatz, it's going to change, and different words with gutturals do different things, and you just have to know what they are. So that's a to the point explanation. Hacham ha'ish, the wise, the man. So the wise. No.
Go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wise is sorry. I read that. Yeah. So wise is the man. The man is wise. Good.
Yes. Let's see. Echal gadol. Echal, we know is a palace. A palace, a big one. Echal gadol, a big or large palace or temple. Ha'echal hagadol. Ha'echal hagadol. The big palace or the large temple. Gadol ha'echal. Adjective before the noun. Large is the temple or big is the palace, whichever. The palace is big. It's a sentence. The difference is noun phrases. Echal gadol is a big temple. It's a noun phrase. It will function as another. It will function as a constituent within a sentence. And ha'echal gadol, you could say the big palace is full of people. Ha'echal gadol male be'anashim. But gadol ha'echal is a sentence on its own. It's not going to be the subject of a sentence, the subject of a verb, or the object, or whatever.
So very quickly, because we want to get through this, but explain what you mean by a constituent.
Just a piece of like a piece that you'd put together inside of a sentence.
Yep. So any one of these words could be a constituent whenever you add stuff.
A noun phrase.
Yep.
Like in syntax, you have phrases. Noun phrase, verb phrase. You can have other things.
Yep. We have a comment. I did see that Cook and Homestead both have new books coming out in the spring with Baker. Oh, I haven't kept up with what Cook has been doing, but it should be interesting. I bet is it part of the... Oh, no. Oh, they're probably finally doing the second edition of the Hebrew grammar. Is that... Because they already have their first Hebrew grammar with Baker. Unless it's something different that I don't know about. But I haven't kept in touch with him very much. Except to ask him about PhD schools. So Tov Ha'or, good is the light. So the light is good. V'ra, oh, this is one sentence. V'ra ha'choshech. And bad is the darkness, so the darkness is bad. So we're moving into
so
now.
Jonathan and I both have these, of course. Cook and Homestead beginning and intermediate grammars.
Not great for self-study, just to warn you.
But fantastic if you have a good teacher.
Yeah, you need to have a professor with those for sure, I think, in my opinion.
It's not easy because they use a lot of linguistic terms and they assume a lot of knowledge. Plus, the attempt to use composition is a little bit confusing.
Yeah, but it's designed to be supplemented by a professor. It's by design. So, yeah, just not great for self-study.
Yeah. Number 8. Kara ha'am bekol gadol. Kara ha'am bekol gadol. Adonai hu ha'elohim bashamayim ve'al ha'aretz. Kara ha'am bekol gadol. The people, sorry, I should be typing. The people called out. Kara is called out or cried out. It's not necessarily shouted, which would be tza'ak. Okay, called out in a big voice. A big voice is a loud voice. What did they call out? We don't have quotation marks in Hebrew, but we're going to say Yahweh or Yud He Vav He.
Yeah, there you go.
Yud He Vav He. He, meaning who, he is. That's the way. Hebrew doesn't have a present tense for is. In the past, we would say Adonai Haya Elohim. He was God. Adonai Yihyeh Elohim. He will be. But who is used for the copula in the present. So Adonai Hu HaElohim. He is God in the sky, in heaven, or the heavens, and upon the earth. Al Haaretz. I feel like it should be followed up with en od. En od. En od, but there's no other. It's just him.
Yeah. So, hey, look at what we have here. A second feminine singular. Kara'a ha'isha. So the woman called, well, yeah, I mean, it is. The woman called El HaMelech to the king. Hechacham, the wise one. So the wise king. And then, sorry, I won't look at the comments because I'm on a laptop. To the wise king. And then Tov Adonai la'am. Good is Adonai to the people. So I guess this is what she's calling out. Adonai is good to the people. And we have la'am again, usually with a patach, but since we have the ayin, the guttural there, it's going to lengthen to a kamatz. So that's why we have, and then the is going to take the same vowel as an echo vowel, which is a little bit confusing. So they both take kamatzes. Kametzim. Haven't heard that before. All right.
All right. Of course, with these like 8 and 9, we would expect normally ha'am kara b'kol gadol, the people cried out. Ha'isha kara'a el hamelech chacham. Word order. We've talked about it a few times. Haya choshech gadol al haaretz. Haya choshech gadol al haaretz. This one actually makes sense in this word order, but there was, or it was. It was. Instead of it was, we would say there was. There was darkness upon the earth, or upon the land.
Well, that's interesting. Why would you say that? Because it's not yesh.
The past tense of yesh is haya.
I think this is trying to echo Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
When you want to say it was darkness, hayad choshech, the most natural thing in English is to supply there. There was darkness.
Oh yeah, in English, yeah. But again, darkness was over the surface of the deep.
There was a great, I missed the word gadol, sorry. There was a great darkness upon the land, or
darkness was upon the land.
Choshech gadol al haaretz.
A great darkness was upon the land. Right? I know it looks weird because it doesn't occur this way, but yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, I missed the word gadol, Gandalf. Sliha.
Yeah. Hey, you guys do well at catching our mistakes.
Right? Yeah, and it's for me, it's 2:00 in the morning, and my eyes are heavy.
For Jason, it's also rare. The only reason why he's making any sort of mistakes is because he's tired as hell. All right, so Ra'a Elohim ki tov. See, this is all from Genesis. It's adopted because we haven't had any verb forms yet. But Ra'a Elohim, God saw ki tov ha'or, that good was the light, that the light was good.
Which light?
Asher bara, the light which he created was good. Right? Ha'or, good was the light which he created. Did I make a mistake? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, in a case like this, where Asher is kind of, God sees it, and the light is already there. So the creating of the light is before that. So it would be very sensible in English to say the light which he had created.
Thank you,
You know.
Gandalf. We try. We try to do our best.
Number 12.
Jason,
Hayamosh ish
Jason
gadol
tried harder.
ba'aretz. Yeah. Haya Moshe ish gadol ba'aretz. I don't like it at all. Moshe haya ish gadol ba'aretz. Moses was a great man in the land.
But it makes perfect sense if you're viewing the classical view about verb, subject, object.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe Moses was a big man. Maybe he was really tall and
Oh,
fat.
that's true. Yeah.
He's a big man.
Very good. Very good. So, La'ah HaMelech, the king saw, Ki Choshech Gadol, that that darkness was great. Yeah, so this is one of the things where Jason would say it makes better sense to say there was a great darkness, right? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, it seems like it's missing haya.
Yeah,
ראה המלך כי היה חושך גדול על העיר הרעה.
yeah. So Ki Choshek, that darkness was just if we go literally, that darkness was great upon the land.
It's not land.
Upon in the land.
העיר הרעה. העיר הרעה is not land.
I was looking at the next one. The darkness was great in the land. And again, we
No,
have,
not in the land. You're not looking
Wait.
at the right one.
I am not looking at the right one. Oh, I'm looking at the one above. I'm sorry.
You're deleting the whole sentence.
We're gonna have to read.
The king saw that it's kind of hard to say darkness was great because then you would expect darkness to be definite. Ha choshech haya gadol.
Upon the great city. I was
Evil
looking at
city.
the wrong one. Or yeah. God, gosh darn it. Go ahead.
Evil.
Yeah. The bad city, the evil city. So yeah, that I would be a horrible scribe.
The king saw that darkness was great upon the evil city. I don't like darkness was great. I'll tell you
I know,
because,
but these are basic sentences still to try to solidify word order, but we don't agree with that word order, so maybe this is not
I prefer
helpful.
there was a great darkness because choshech is indefinite. Indefinite. It's not the darkness. Like when you say darkness was, it's the subject of the sentence. It's going to be natural for it to be the darkness.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I don't know. Number 14. Ba'a ha'isha el Shmuel. The woman came. Ba, lavo, to come, came to Samuel. The woman came to Samuel.
Very good. And once again, I get the long one. Amar Moshe, Moses. I'm going to break this down into parts so that I don't make a mistake. Tova ha'aretz, a land. Well, shoot. This is so weird. This is weird word order.
No, it's normal.
The land is
is
good, which Natan Adonai La'am, which God gave to the people. It sounds weird in English, but that's what it is in the Hebrew.
But the word order in English would have to be switched. The land which God gave to his people is good.
Yep.
You open a quotation, you close a quotation.
Oh, yeah. No, you're a stickler. So Jason's
land which God gave to the people is good.
Mm-hmm. Jason's putting it into good English word order. But it's important to know for beginning students to translate the Hebrew as you see it and then put it into good English. So that's what we're doing.
If I see without the quotation mark, my brain is malfunctioning.
You might have.
It's like
you might
that
have,
quotation mark is open. Where does it end? Where does it end?
You might have OCD, Jason. Just
Yeah.
saying.
You know, when I type SMSs or whatever, I always end it with a period. I end my sentences with periods, and I was called out on that the other day. A friend was like, "Why do you keep putting those dots everywhere?"
Are you serious?
Yes, I think
I put periods in my text all the time. Those
I
dots.
think it's a sign of old age. We older people who actually know proper English use periods at the end of our sentences, and the young kids today do not. So
Just
it
because of
feels too formal and scary to them.
yeah. Well, because when you put a period on the end of a sentence, they think you're mad at them. That's the
Why?
yeah. I don't know, but that's the
How does period
conventional.
mean mad? It means finished.
No, right, because you're emphasizing the sentence if you put a period, so they think you're mad
Yeah.
at them.
Well, I don't know. Number 16, Bara Elohim Eretz V'Shamayim. Don't you feel the same thing about this? That you see that pausal form right there, Shamayim, and you don't see the Sof Pasuk. Where is it? Give me my Hebrew keyboard. Sof Pasuk.
Yeah.
Bara Elohim Eretz V'Shamayim.
This isn't
I can
Bible;
see
these are
Sof Pasuk.
fabricated sentences. So no, I'm not surprised.
So Elohim bara. God created land and sky. We should note that Shamayim right there. I don't know if you can see that, but let's try to make it a little bit. No, it won't go bigger, will it? Nope.
Youngsters, I still double space after the period. I do too. I even double space in text after the period.
That I do not do. I do one space after periods now.
Yeah, well,
I was convinced. Because I now see text and I see two spaces after a period, and it just feels like it's so spaced out. The word Shamayim here.
Sorry.
Thus begins my descent into madness.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
So Shamayim here, normally Shamayim has a patach under the mem. In this case, it is being represented as if it were in pause. So in pause, which they're starting to introduce in the textbook, kamatz will lengthen to no, not kamatz. The patach will lengthen to kamatz. Also, you should know that historical vowels return in pause, which is wonderful. We were talking about that in the previous session. Number 17. That's you. Marbek. Marbek the muted.
Yes, I realized that. Marbek? Mar, is that
Mar.
Mr.?
Mar is Mr. Yeah. Mar, it's from Aramaic.
I thought it would just be MR, just mimicking the English.
You would think, but it's not. It's from Aramaic. Mar
Cool.
in remember the expression from the New Testament, Maranatha. Maranatha. I don't know if it's Maranatha or Maran Ata. Ata means he came.
How would you
Maran is our Lord. Maran Ata, our Lord has come. Or Maranatha, which is like come, O Lord. And there's argument about which one it means. But Mar is Aramaic for Mr.
And Jason
for Lord or Mr. Sorry.
Is certainly
so Mr. Beck, Mar Beck.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Gadol ha'hechal. So great is the temple. So the temple is great. Asher ba'ir, which is in the city. And again, we have ba'ir with a kamat because of the ayin. The ayin can't take a dagesh, so we have compensatory lengthening here.
All right. But what about the word order in English? Because that, if you said that to somebody, they wouldn't know what you meant. What great is in the city? The great isn't in the city. The temple's in the city. So you need to move the relative clause to be beside temple. The temple, which is in the city, is great.
Yeah. Well, I
And to be
mean,
consistent, if you put one is in parentheses, you have to put the other is in
yes, I
parentheses.
know.
But the is necessary to the sentence in English, so there's no need to put it in parentheses.
Well, yeah. Well, it is if you did it literally like I did the first time. So it's helpful to do it literally. And then, I mean, that's what most beginning students do. They translate it directly and then they put it into good English. And most of
Mm-hmm.
them don't even do that second step.
Yeah, they missed the good English.
Yeah.
So, gadol is big or awesome. Mm-mm. Well, whenever you think about it like God, we say Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Anora. Ha'el, I'm not typing in my Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Anora. The great, powerful, and awesome God. So when you say God is Gadol, you don't mean that he's big. You mean that he's great in a symbolic, figurative way. You're great. You can even say that, like, if something really cool happened, you say Gadol. You know, it means great, but that's not the most common way to say it. All right. Haya ha'adam kelohim. Haya ha'adam kelohim. Kelohim, like God. In this case, probably we would translate Haya as he became. The man became like God. But it literally says the man was like God. Right?
Yes. Right? So, Lohaya Kishmuel Ish Hacham Ba'aretz. So, this is a little bit more complicated. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is actually odd word choice, I think. So, there was not, like Samuel, a wise man upon the earth. So I would expect like Ain instead of Lohaya, but oh well.
On the earth or in the land?
In the land, or you could say on the earth or in the land.
Mm-hmm.
So in the land.
Laish, you could say there was not a man, or you could say there was no man.
Yep. Put it into
There
good
was
English.
no man wise as Samuel in the land.
Yep.
As wise as in English. There was no man as wise as Samuel in the land.
Mm-hmm. I'm just sticking with the literal word order, but you can change it if it bothers you.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have again a feminine subject. The verb is feminine. Amra, amra, she said. Amra haisha, the woman said. Amra haisha. Tov hadavar asher amar haish echacham el ha'am. All right, so the woman said, haisha amra, tov hadavar, good is the thing or the word which he said, the man, the wise, to the people. So that's literal. She said, the word or the thing which the wise man said to the people is good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, word adavar could refer to could be advice, it could be a command, it could be anything that's said. Tov hadavar asher amar ha'ish hacham el ha'am.
Mm-hmm.
If we're thinking about the article, remember he chacham is because the guttural with kamatz. Normally, if it's unstressed, and ha'am because of compensatory lengthening. Also ha'isha.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is also it's not that I'm a bad translator, it's just I'm not used to seeing this word order. Bayom or in the day was light, which is just weird. How would you put that into good English?
Bayom or uvalayla choshech. Light by day and darkness by night.
Okay.
Or it's in the day, light, and at night, Darkness.
And at what? Oh, you know what it is? It's light is in the day and darkness is in the night.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is. But literally, in the day is light, and in the night is darkness. Yep. Yeah, I think they're going for the light is in the day and darkness is in the night. That's what I think they're going for.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So we covered all of the English to Hebrew, the Hebrew to English. Excuse me. In the next section, at 7:30, we will go Hebrew to English. We only took 40 minutes to go through that. I think that so far the translations are easy enough that we can run through them without any difficulty. Let's take a look at the grammar book itself real quick. Can you see it? Okay, so let's run through, since we have some extra time, I'll run through and just see if there's anything in the grammar that makes us say, oh, that's cute. This is...
You want to take our there.
This is going up to exercise 3, section 18 of the grammar, noun and adjective, masculine, feminine, singular. So we've got sus, susa, ish, isha, nabi, nebiah, melech, malka. It's not the case that all feminines end in a, and you can't just take any old word. Okay, so I do have something to say. Can't take just any old word, add a, and make it feminine. Okay, so why am I mentioning that? Oh, okay. That frustrates me. That's why I'm mentioning it. Hold on. I'll pull something
Jason,
up.
you have to learn to laugh at yourself.
It's not laughing at me. It's being frustrated with something that I keep hearing online.
I just laugh at your word choice out of your frustration.
I am frustrated with this. So I get frustrated about certain things. Like I said early on, there's a lot of bad information out there in the world about Hebrew and whatever. And sometimes we have people who teach Hebrew on the internet. They think they teach Hebrew and they don't know the language, and it drives me crazy. So there's one person in particular, and Jonathan knows already without me even mentioning what was said, he knows who it was, that he's obsessed with the word for Jesus. The name for Jesus, Jesus' name in the Hebrew is Yeshua. Yeshua.
Jason's on his soapbox right now.
Yes, I'm getting on a soapbox.
Yeah.
Because we finished. If you're not interested in anything that we have to say, then you can. We're finished. So you're free to go to the next session. He teaches people, for some reason, I'm not going to say his name, that Yeshua is the name of Jesus, which it is, and that if you add then you make the name feminine. So Yeshua, which is not Jesus' name, it is not, is the feminine form of the name of Jesus. And it is not. It is not. It is not. It is a noun on its own.
Does he really say that?
He does say that.
I missed that part. Oh my gosh.
He does.
Well, now
and he said it so many times.
Now you know it's a he.
Yeah, and I've corrected him 20 times, and then he acts like I'm against him because I don't like the name Yeshua.
How would you make that feminine form anyway?
You can't. You don't make names feminine. You can't take the name Yaakov and say, okay, you can. There are certain names that you can say there's a masculine form of the name, Daniel and Daniela. Okay, you can make Daniela. But it is not the case that the word Yeshua is a feminine form of the name Yeshua. It is not the case.
It's a noun form.
It is.
It's a noun
so there are
form.
There are two noun forms that both mean deliverance or salvation. That's Yeshua and Teshua. They're the same meaning, with one has a yod in the beginning and one has a taf in the beginning. And it doesn't matter, they're the same word. Yeshua, Teshua. It doesn't matter. But he thinks that because I tell him that this is not the feminine of the name, then I have something against Christians. I don't mind people calling Jesus Yeshua, because Yeshua is a valid name in Hebrew. It's a fine name. It's a wonderful name.
I mind people calling that don't know any Hebrew, but call them that because they're using it as a
is
flex.
a name. It's used in the Bible. Why not? Fantastic. But it is not made a feminine noun by adding ah. It's these two forms came from different places, and they are related by root, of course. But that's my soapbox, because I just was thinking that frustrated me when I saw the Susa. I thought Yeshua, and I'm like, no. That drives me nuts. Most of the people that I willingly and happily help with Hebrew on the internet are Christians, and I don't care what people believe, because I don't go into it.
Yeah.
Don't try to convince me to believe something. I won't try to convince you to believe something. We all share the world.
Yes.
We
are non-confessional. We are not non-confessional in our Hebrew. Yes, I'm a Christian.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason calls
Jonathan's a Christian, and I said secular.
I liked that. But other people wouldn't.
So anyway, let's see these 4 examples of masculine, feminine, singular adjectives. It's a case that adjectives have masculine and feminine, singular and plural forms. Yes.
I'll be right
back.
Not
nouns.
Keep talking.
Here, I'll take you off the stage. Great. Let's see. When an adjective qualifies a noun, the order of words is, a good man, ish tov. A good woman, isha tova. The good man, says the adjective follows the noun it qualifies and agrees with it in number and gender. Also indefiniteness. That's important. The good man, ha'ish hatov. To the good man, la'ish hatov. Ishi hatov, that's definite. Ishi is definite, my man. The good one, which means maybe my good husband, my good man. Ha'isha hatova, the good woman or the good wife. This is how Weingreen's grammar is presented, which makes it difficult to read because it's kind of ugly. We didn't use this in Bible college. I went to Bible college, by the way. Like I said, I have nothing against Christians. I think Christians are, for the most part, good people. Just hate preachers I don't like. Tov ha'ish, good is the man. This is what we went over in the exercises. Then they give us for the exercises amar and the feminine amra. Kara, kara. Natan, natna. Alach, halcha. Jonathan's back. Welcome back. So the feminine, in historical form, it was amara, kara'a, natana, halacha. And the middle syllable dropped. He actually mentioned it. Look at that. When the accented syllable a is appended, the vowel under the second root letter disappears. Instead of saying amara, the tendency is hurried speech is to say amara. It's not just a tendency. Historically, it was amara with the middle syllable stressed, which appears in pause, and then it turned into amara.
Though this book may have been made before, I think this was in 1956, so it may be before we had knowledge of historical Hebrew grammar, or a bunch of historical Hebrew grammar.
Yeah.
It's possible.
There's the exercises we just did. Notice the first one I typed incorrectly. Melech Tov, I typed it incorrectly originally. So for the next section, we're doing gender and number. That is, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Sus, susa, susim, susot. It is true that there are words like navi, nevi'ah, asir, asira. There are words that have masculine and feminine forms, but you can't take, for example, kochav, star, and say, I'm going to make a feminine form of the word star. There is no feminine form of the word star. And there is no feminine form.
It always comes back to this guy.
There is no feminine form of the name Yeshua that doesn't have a feminine form. Anyway, he talks about, notice that the reduction of distant syllables. Davar becomes davarim, becomes dvarim with the first syllable reduced. Dvarim. Fantastic. Regel. We should say that.
Yep.
Hmm?
Dude.
Yeah,
That's
do
Colton.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
No, there are masculine and feminine pairs in nouns that represent natural gender. That's true. But you can't force nouns to have two
Yeah,
genders.
of course, you have Behem and Behemah.
In them and beast. Yes.
Yeah.
Notice that segolet nouns like regel, foot, often have two word roots. So the singular is regel, becomes ragli, my foot, ragli, but the plural is based off of ragal.
Now you're getting into
Ragal
seglets.
becomes regalim, just like davar, because they have different roots for singular and plural.
Both of Jason's soapboxes are present in this discussion tonight.
Yeah, because we're past the exercises now. So
we
now
still have 10 minutes left. Or, we could leave early so I could have time with my family. But we're starting at 9 anyway, so it doesn't matter. 9 minutes isn't going to make any difference. Yeah.
We're starting at 7:30.
No, I mean 9 minutes left isn't going to spend time with my family.
It's like I can't stay awake that late. It's already 2:30 in the morning almost. Yad, hand, yad, yadaim. It says two hands, but yadaim is just it's the plural, but it's used as it's dual form, but it's used as the plural. So you can to say my two hands, you say shtei hayadaim sheli, shtei yadai. Shtei yadai, the two of my hands. Shtei yadai, because there's no other way to say that. When you say yadot does exist in the Bible, but it has a different meaning. It doesn't mean physical hands. Yom, yomaim, the aim means two. So yom, yomaim, 1 day, 2 days. Ba'am, time, an instance, and pe'amai or pa'amaim is 2 times. Pa'amaim. Chodesh, month, chodshaim, 2 months. Sha'a, hour, sha'ataim, 2 hours. Just so you know, aim. And with that, you'll be ready for exercise 4 for next week.
We've gone from topic to topic.
Yeah, but that's the fun. That's the fun of it.
I hope so.
I really wish that people were to sign up on Patreon and come and see the English to Hebrew, because that's the more challenging, and maybe we'll have some even more interesting discussions. Yadaim ozrim, you say ozrot. Yadaim, the parts of the body generally are feminine, so yadaim ozrot, helping hands. But good try, because of the
because of the Hirik Yod Mem. Do you think that it's masculine? Yep, not bad.
So you say yadaim tovot, good hands. Ata beyadayim tovot, you are in good hands.
Yeah. I know you knew that, Colton.
Indeed.
Yeah.
There are some body parts that are not feminine. Just so you know, the nose, af is masculine.
Yeah, but you don't have a pair of noses, so that's why it's masculine. You don't have 2
pair
noses.
Of nostrils.
Oh, you do have a paim, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You do have that. That's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
thank you guys so much. Please sign up and come to the English to Hebrew session, because it's fun. And we don't have any viewers. But anyway, one of those things you don't think about right away. It's true. It's true. Gender is something you really have to get used to in Hebrew. But Teavon, Gandalf, enjoy your dinner. We'll see you guys later. Am Yisrael Chai. Long live the people of Israel. Bye-bye.
All right, folks. See you.